Okay, in this video we'll be going through GST and VAT calculations. Now they mean more or less the same thing, just depends on what country you live in, and going into exactly what these things are is well something I do in person. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, we'll just be content with sorting out calculations and stuff. All we'll need to say is that these things it's like a tax on trading goods and services. That's what the G and the S and the T stand for. And it's a tax that will effectively increase the cost of stuff by a percentage. Okay, in Australia, it's called GST, and this percentage is 10%. Okay, so if I've got something whose initial value is $60, say, okay, we might call this the before GST price, before the tax has been added to it. Then we'd have to add the GST, which would make it more expensive. How much would we have to add then? Well, it would be how much it initially costs, so this $60 here, and we'd be taking 10% of that. Okay, so it'd just be the $6 in this case. So altogether, the after-tax price of the item would be to add the 60 with the 6, and we'd get $66. Okay, sometimes we're only interested in the before GST and after GST prices, so we can use our previous work on increasing by percentages to see a direct relationship between these two things. So notice if we take the 60, which is the before GST price, we can directly add the GST to it by increasing by 10%, which from our previous work would just be to multiply by 1 plus 0.1. Remember the idea there being to take one full copy of the original $60 and then to add on 0.1, so 10% of it directly. Okay, that will be the same as multiplying 60 by 1.1, which would give us $66, the same after GST price. Okay, a word of warning though, the GST or VAT percentage always applies to the original value, the blue number. So going backwards would involve undoing this increase, which in our case would be to divide the 66 by 1.1 to go backwards and to recover the 60. Okay, this is very different to decreasing 66 by 10%. Because if you try and decrease 66 by 10%, you'd be applying the 10% to the 66 rather than to the initial $60. So make sure you're clear on that. It's a very common mistake we see in this particular topic, and we'll see another example of that in just a moment. So say we have a jacket whose price is $123.75, and that's with the GST already included. Okay, which by the way in Australia is often the case with listed prices, okay, but this one's a different percentage. So we need to work out the pre-GST price and also the included GST. Okay, that's all sort of packaged in this 123.75 number. So we'll start with the pre-GST price, which from the previous screen was just the blue block. Okay, we've been given the price of the jacket, which is 123.75. That's after GST has already been added. So that's where the 12.5% increase has already happened. So what we need to do is to undo this 12.5% increase. And we know from our previous work that a 12.5% increase normally would come from multiplying by 1.125. So to undo this, we'd have to divide by 1.125. And that gives us a pre-GST cost of $110. And now it should be pretty easy to work out the included GST, which just means the exact dollar value of just the tax. Okay, just the green bit from the previous screen, because that would come from the difference between the final value of 123.75 and the initial value of $110. Okay, the difference between the after-tax and before-tax price must be the exact value of the tax itself, and so that gives us $13.75. Okay, one final example here. Remember, VAT means practically the same thing, so we're told the value of just this 15% tax this time is $40.50, and what we need to work out is the full price of the phone including this tax. Well, the VAT, we're told, is calculated at 15% of, well, the original price of the phone, so we should write that down. And something to get quite used to, especially in this sort of maths that tries to be practical, is converting descriptions like this into our familiar math symbols. So first, the VAT, we're told, has a value of exactly $40.50. So we'd write that as 40.5. And what is this 40.5 equal to? Well, it's 15%. So 0.15. Now look, with fancy calculators, you're free to leave it as 15% if you want, but it's often a bit cleaner to work with decimals. Okay. Then the word of in these contexts always means multiplication. Then the pre-tax price is something that would be very helpful for us to know. Okay, so let's leave that here. Unknown, we'll just write that out again. And we can easily work out what this pre-tax price is by killing the multiplication. And we do that by dividing through by 0.15 like this. And that gives us a pre-tax price of $270. That's just 40.5 divided by 0.15. Okay, great. So what's the full price of the phone now, including the VAT? Well, we just need to take the pre-tax price and add on the tax of 40.5, and we get $310.50. So that's all there is to GST and VAT. They work the same way. It's really just carefully handling percentages and percentage increases. Okay, and it's going both forwards and backwards with those percentage increases. So that's all for this one. Thanks for watching. See you around.